Wednesday night is Future Sounds, and it is time to bring you brand new music from the band Inhaler. I have Rob and I have Eli on the phone with me right now. Guys, hi, and how are you?
Hey Annie, how are you? Thank you for having us again.
So we've talked a lot, and finally we get to talk with the next thing that happens, being your album coming out. And when we spoke before, Eli, you told us what the album was going to be called, and that's very relevant to tonight's hottest record. So the hottest record tonight is also the name of the album. Tell us the name.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, the title's been around for about 4 years now. It's one of the first songs we ever wrote as a band, and funny enough, I guess the title kind of changed meaning as lockdown happened. So yeah, I mean, it's a big deal for us. Like, this is our kind of our first song that we put out into the world, and we're putting it out again. I think the title means so much to the whole narrative of the album anyway, so it kind of just pulls it together really nicely for us.
Let's hear it now. We're going to play it twice, but for the first time, this is the hottest record in the world from Inhaler. This is It Won't Always Be Like This. Go, It Won't Always Be Like This, sounding huge on Radio 1 on a Wednesday night, and we have Eli and Rob from the band. Eli, you're saying that this, obviously takes on this amazing resonance, talking about COVID and the fact that we're kind of stuck in this suspended state. But you said that it refers to the album as well. How does this title kind of, what is the relationship with this title and the album, I guess?
I don't know. I guess it's our younger selves kind of reminding us to keep hopeful.
Right.
Like it's an album about just kind of that weird territory between being a teenager and being an adult, and getting lost and finding yourself again. And there's no, like, it's not a concept album by any means, but I think it's just a really positive record, and I think that's important in a time like this. Like, when we were kids, we were kind of writing about just stuff you talk about when you're a teenager and you're a kid, like the girl you like, something like that. Yeah. But when lockdown happened, it kind of made us just take on broader subjects. I mean, you kind of have to, don't you? So,
there's something nice, isn't there, about coming full circle back to this record?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the main kind of points in releasing it as one of the singles, and even putting it on the album. I mean, it's weird. I don't really know like how many bands have had their first song that they've written be on their album. Usually they get a lot better, but it's just one of those songs that that's really, really connects live and also on record as well. So yeah. And nice to be able to kind of use it as a measure of time, and say, right, 4 years ago, whatever. Was it 4 years ago you wrote this? Yeah, about 4 years ago, yeah.
So if you look at your band, and like, I'll ask you this one, Rob, like, if you look at your band in the last 4 years, how do you feel like you guys have grown? Obviously you've grown up because time has passed, but in terms of a band, how do you feel like you've evolved?
It's an interesting one. We always find it hard because I think as an artist you kind of naturally kind of outgrow your own music, and for us we always found that there was a part of us that just wanted to keep writing new material and move forward, but having these songs for so long, they're kind of the songs that got us fans in the first place, so we always kind of wanted to pay homage to that. And also just they are, like, I talk about It Won't Always Be Like This, but also Cheer Up Baby being like our oldest songs and making it on the record. They are kind of our song, like, very personal to us, and they kind of made us fall in love with being in a band in the first place. So it's definitely an interesting one because there's like a balancing act you kind of have to get right.
Yeah, kudos to you guys, because I can imagine, like, the idea of growing out of your music, always wanting to move forwards, and so being able to go back and go, you know what, this song is really emblematic of who we are and who we were, and but you did re-record it, right? And tell me about the kind of process behind that. I
think puberty happened mainly. And,
so what age were you when you wrote this for the first time?
Eli always gets the age wrong. It's older than that. I think we were about 16. It was just as Josh joined the band, so it was actually one of our first ever tunes we wrote with Josh.
Right.
Bob's got the original title tattooed on his arm, doesn't he?
Yeah, so it used to be 540. That's probably backwards, but it used to be 540 because it's the bass tab, so that used to be the old name of the song. And then it's been through many other titles.
Yeah. And it was hard, obviously, like, we do just want to move on, and we're excited to get onto the second record, but these songs speak for themselves. They're great songs, aren't they? So
yeah. And we've been in this kind of weird state, as I said, of suspension. So nothing's moved forward in the last year. We've just kind of stood still a bit. So you have to pay respect to the music that's come before this, that hasn't really had a chance to be heard and be on big stages and be connect with crowds.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we were meant to put out the album last August, and obviously when everything went a bit mad, it was a chance to really just focus on the album. And I think before that, it was just going to be a collection of singles, because that's just the way we were recording. We were going off tour and going straight into the studio for a couple of days, and then we were back out.
Yeah.
And we just had a lot of time in the lockdown to really focus on it as a collection of songs and writing more material for it. And we think we've made it a lot better. And you know, in a weird sense, it's kind of done us a bit of good.
And talking about playing live, you've announced a big tour at the end of this year, including 4 Dublin shows. How's the guest list looking for that?
Well, you're on it. You're on it if you want it.
But is it insane? Like, it must be insane. People just wanting to like get out and be at gigs again. Just
all our mates, isn't it? Yeah. It's just gonna be a night of like, I don't know, 400 of our mates. How many people fit in the academy?
And Eli, when we spoke last as well, you were talking about like the idea of missing seeing each other every day and missing getting sick of each other. Have you had a chance, now things are opening up a little bit more, to see each other and to get back in and just be playing together again?
Definitely sick of each other again.
It's reversed, I think.
Yeah, no, you know, I think like we're mates before we're bandmates, and that's kind of how we started the band. We never kind of got into it being like, you know, we're going to start writing songs. It was just 4 friends playing music together, and we just want to keep that kind of feeling of innocence going around, because it's fun just going into the studio and having a laugh and like not feeling like you're punching the clock. Yeah. So we've had a big opportunity to just be able to hang out as mates now.
Yeah, I saw the video that you put up on Instagram of you guys in Temple Bar, and it's like empty Temple Bar, like the most busy period.
It wasn't empty that night. I think Dublin's been coming back alive recently, but we got in there before that happened. So
yeah. Well, listen, the album It Won't Always Be Like This drops in July. It's come forward now, so July 9th for everyone who's looking to get their ears around it. And just wish you guys the most fun and the best year ever, being able to put this out after all this waiting. So yeah, all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, let's play this one more time. It Won't Always Be Like This. Inhaler, let's do it. It's your hottest record in the world.